Hi there, my name's Amrit, and welcome to Pass AMC. Today I'm going to be talking about something that's a little different, a little off the topic of medicine. To begin with, I would like to ask you a question. What would your life look like without today's obstacles in front of you? What is it that you're trying to achieve? What does that something look like? So, every one of us has our own share of problems that we're dealing with, our own share of hardships that we're going through, and passing these exams could be something that we share, but the journey is individual. And what I would like to do is invite you to think about what is the obstacle in your life, what is holding you back. As you take a piece of paper and a pen and write down all the things that are holding you back, what are the obstacles you're having, I would like to share a little bit about my journey with AMC, with Australia, with working here as a doctor. So, to begin with, in 2015, I remember that I thought maybe moving to Australia would be a good thing for my career, for my life. So, at that time, I was working as an obstetrician in Shanghai, China. And I had no idea about AMC and the exams, what involved in preparing for these exams. But I knew that I wanted to move to Australia. One of the main reasons why I wanted to move here was because I married an Australian guy, and I knew that at some point in life I would have to make that move and be settled in a place where we both can have a good life. Um, but to be honest with you, I had no idea about what all involved in the preparation, how to study, how to go about it. And like any other person, I had a full time job. I was juggling between work, life, trying to make a balance, trying to look after myself, trying to look after my family. And studying was something that was in the back of my head, but I had no plan. I remember I went and purchased the AMC handbook, John Murtagh's, the USMLE books for the USMLE exams. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, I bought those too. But the thing is, like working a full time job and managing the house, I literally had no time to study. And time just flew by. Like I knew I had to do the exam, I knew I had to prepare, but I didn't have a plan. And because I did not have a plan, time just flew by. The next thing, I got a job in Africa and I moved to Africa with my husband. And once again, like moving to a new place, working a full time job, I had no time to study. I had it in the back of my head, but like practically, I was not doing it. So, this is just to give you an example how, time just flies by. And if we don't have a plan, things don't get done. In 2017, we moved to Australia, and I knew that, okay, you know what, now there's no escape. I have to do the AMC exams. And the main thing was like, how do I do it? What do I do? And also, another challenge was like, it was a new country, new place, not having my family, friends, the support system that I had once upon a time. Like, it had its own challenges. On top of that, like the challenge of having to do the exam and not knowing where to start, having different challenges with finances, coming from a well paying job to no job, to not being able to practice. All these things, add up, and you question, like, what the hell are you doing in life? So I was in this phase where I was like, okay, what do I do? How can I help contribute to the family? At the same time, like I knew I had to study and prepare for AMC. Life in Australia is not that easy if you do not have a good job, and the cost of living is quite high. So moving here, that's something I learned very, very quickly. And not being able to work, of course, made me realize that quite quick. Um, so look, I had to do something to show that, look, I'm also participating in the family. And even like for my own sanity, I thought it would be good to do something rather than sit at home. As soon as I got here, I understood that I cannot work as a doctor until I pass the AMC exams. So, what do I do? I picked up a job in retail at one of the luxury brands. I won't say the name, but I worked for a very fancy brand selling handbags. And part of the reason why I got that job was because I speak Mandarin. And I enjoyed it. I won't lie. It was fun. It was helping me to pay my bills. And at the same time, like, it was a good excuse to get out of the house, meet other people, engage myself in the Australian culture. And it was helping a lot to pay the bills. But at the same time, I realized that it's something that's taking me away from my career. I am a doctor, and I am not going to have a long term career selling handbags. So, the other thing was, I realized that there's no future. I could be selling these bags, but 5 years down the road, there's nothing, Like short term, sure, it's paying the bills, but long term, there's no growth, there's no future. Working this retail job made me respect people in the retail sector. Like, I understood their pain, and it's not easy to be on your feet all day long, just standing, serving customers. It's hard work. And I remember, like, I would come home and my feet would hurt. Oh my God. And I also remember, like, going to Woolies or Coles and seeing staff, at the cashiers. Um, and I would just look at them and be like, man, I feel your pain. Like, your feet must hurt. So, look, I love it. I love the fact that I went through this journey, and it was fun. It was really, really fun. So for me, I take things one day at a time. I take it as a journey. There's no good or bad. It's just a process of learning, and that's, about it, really. So while I was at this job, I did understand that it's a short term thing that I'm doing. But at the same time, like, I had a long term plan for myself, and that long term plan involved being successful, being in the field of medicine. And at the same time, like, I quickly understood that some of the high paying jobs in Australia were in the medical field. Like, the top salary earning professionals in Australia are in the medical area. So now the question was, how do I get there? Right? So, like, I had a chat with my husband, and I was like, I need to do something. I need to work in medicine, and what I'm doing is, not gonna help me. um, I met a lot of people who were doctors who, like, similar sort of situation as myself. They had to pass the exams, but because of life, because of situations, they're doing odd jobs. Some people are working in restaurants, working as a taxi driver, doing all sorts of things, but working as a doctor. I have a lot of respect for all these people who are trying to make ends meet, who are trying to provide their families with a good life. At the same time, they're trying to pass the exams. It's definitely not easy. So, a lot of respect to all the people out there who are trying to make things work and putting in all the hard work and not give up. Lots and lots of respect to all you people out there. So, for me, when I realized that I am in a situation where I am able to comfortably pay the bills, and I'm like pretty okay at the moment, but I'm not working in the area of my study. And also, like, when I thought about the long term plan of where I want to go and where I am, I realized that I cannot continue doing what I'm doing. I need to change things. So I had to quit my job. I had to stop working because I realized that if I keep working and I pretend that I'm going to study and prepare, that's not going to happen. And it's only going to delay the process of AMC further. So I just made a conscious decision with my husband, and we decided that I'm going to dedicate the next 3 to 6 months to study, and that's all I'm going to do. So the first few weeks, I sort of did self study. and I got myself familiar with the handbook, with the structure, and with what kind of format the exam comes in. I spoke to a few people as well who had done the exam, and at the same time I was looking into bridging courses. I looked into the bridging courses in Australia and met with them in person, trying to understand what they're all about. um, I remember the courses involved a big financial commitment, and to be honest with you, I was a bit skeptical to shell out that kind of money. um, there were also some cheap courses available online, but I wasn't sure like if that was good value either. I was trying to convince my husband that I'll sit at home and I'll study, I'll prepare on my own. I'm capable of this, I can do this. But he kept saying that no, think of it as an investment, think of it as investment that you're doing on your future, and it's going to expedite the process. For me, like to sort of like shell out that kind of money, that was a pinch. So I wasn't comfortable doing that because I worked hard. Like it's very difficult to earn money, yeah, and to spend that kind of money on a course, it's hard work. It's a lot of effort to save, and I was just like convincing him that no, I can do it. I can do it on my own. So that took us like a few days, and we sat down and thought about it. Like, look, if I go with a bridging course, what are the pros? If I don't, what are the pros? What are the cons? So we weighed out both the pros and the cons, and we made a plan that let's go with a bridging course. The exams, as it is, are quite expensive. On top of that, the bridging course, and on top of that, realistically, a person also has to add the cost of doing the exam again in case they fail. So adding up all that cost, it made me realize that I'm better off investing in myself into a course rather than studying by myself, because there's more at stake. So, for example, my time was premium. So, had I like been working a full-time job back at home and preparing, it would be different. But being here, and not working, sitting at home and preparing for the exam, like made me realize that every week that I like not work, it's going to take me away from a potential earning, right? So I saw it like that. Like if I invest in a bridging course, it means the sooner I can enter the Australian healthcare system, the faster I can reach that bracket, the pay scale that I want to be in, it would be sooner. So for me, being able to enter the Australian healthcare system early was a priority. To know the outcome was a priority. To be in charge of the decision making and the process was my priority. I did not want to sit at home and waste time and delay the process, delay myself into getting a job, um, make um, sort of commitments and not follow through. That was like not something I was looking for. So I consciously made this choice that I will invest in a bridging course, and it will help me to understand things better. Yes, it is difficult, it is a big commitment, but I am going to do it because it can help me get to where I want to get to faster. So it was more reasonable, more aligned, and it was a decision that I honestly like. I'm thankful to my husband that he chose this, and he made me see the light which I was not seeing at that time, because I was only focused on the money bit, and he was more focused on like the long term plan and how quickly you can get there. So yeah, a lot of thanks to my husband who helped. The best thing about joining a bridging course was meeting other people who were in a similar journey. I made some good friends. It was nice. And also, it gave me a good understanding on the Australian exam, the healthcare system. It was pretty good, I would say. Overall, it was a good decision. I don't regret it. It did add a lot of value to my preparation. And look, like there's so many courses out there, but for me, like the one that I had chosen, it at that time, I felt like I had made the right decision. I was pretty happy with my decision. I was happy with the effort and the commitment I had made. I was studying almost 12 to 14 hours every single day, 7 days a week. And with God's grace, like my husband was a good source of inspiration and support. And I kept going. Like I knew I had to reach somewhere, and the only way to get there was perseverance. And I was not afraid to put in that effort. Like I gave it 100%. I remember that I did not attend anyone's lunch or dinner or party. Like I did not socialize at all. All I did was just focus on studying. That's it. Like that's the only thing I would do. It's hard work, yeah, guys. Like putting in 100% of your time, your effort into one like preparation, it's not easy. But again, like if you want to pass the exam and you want to pass it within a time frame, it's required. Otherwise, like the way I said, like initially I wasted so many years just thinking that I want to pass the exam but not taking any action towards passing, not preparing. So then, like I said, time flies, and the next thing you know, it's gone. It's too late. He once said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Having said that, it's important to understand the difference between planning and preparation. Planning is rule based and preparation is principle based. For example, the easiest story I can tell you is about sailing. Let's say you have a boat and you want to go from Melbourne to Tasmania. You have a rough itinerary planned. Now, looking at the ocean, everything out in the ocean is subject to wind. And if we want to set ourselves up for success, number one, we need to have realistic expectation. The boat can only travel so far in a day, and how far that goes depends as much on the wind as it does on our ability to make use of the wind. The next thing is proper planning. We need to plan in a way that we're preparing ourselves, setting ourselves up for success. So, proper preparation in this situation, well, in sailing, it's important to delineate between planning and preparation. A plan is we think we will be in Port Melbourne at 8 a.m. on Friday, the 1st of March, and arrive Tasmania, let's say, at 10 a.m. on Friday, 3rd of March. Preparation will be having enough food and water that we will be comfortable in this journey. Let's say if we need to anchor somewhere in the middle of the ocean, having enough emergency supplies, having equipment that is reliable, maps, guides, gadgets. So, things for troubleshooting. Let's say something messes up in the middle of the ocean. Do you have enough supplies? Perhaps a storm blows in and we can shelter it up somewhere in the middle of the ocean, making sure that we've got enough fuel as a backup. We can only achieve these things because we were prepared for the best case scenario and for the worst case scenario. It's decades of collective sailing experience we have, which keeps us from getting in trouble, whether be it the rocks or the weather. It's understanding what can go wrong and knowing what you can do to prevent it. I hope this story gives you some insight on the value of planning and preparation. And please always keep in mind that whatever your dreams may be, they can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. Believe in yourself, believe that you can do it. Nothing is impossible in life. And I wish you all the very best for your journey. Good luck.